Yo, how we doing, everyone? Nice to see you. Not that I can see you. Hope it's nice to see me. Um, so topics for this week for my coaching videos. So I've had a little bit of think about this with so many things going on. I was going to talk about energy balance today and stuff, but then I decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a four-part video series on. I'm going to call it Nurture Your World. Because right now we all need to be nurturing our own worlds, okay? And I think there's four distinctive elements to our worlds that we need to nurture. And I think the first is mindset, that I'm going to talk about today. Second is lifestyle, sleep, our environment, our relationships, socializing and stuff. Third, nutrition, obviously nurturing our bodies through nutrient dense foods and looking at energy balance, so we'll come into that then. And then fourth and finally, movement, so obviously exercise and activity and having fun and playing and stuff like that. Okay, so I think everything always starts from this mindset, and I think the mind is so powerful. We're creating our own worlds, and so today I want to start off with mindset. And I've obviously been doing a lot of thinking since doing my Vipassana. I've been carrying on my meditations. I've been doing at least 1 hour a day. Every morning I've been doing an hour. And one of the biggest lessons that I've really picked up from the Vipassana, that I keep repeating to myself during the meditation, and the whole point of the Vipassana style of meditation is to actually just observe, is to scan through your body and observe sensations throughout the body as you're scanning, and you just keep scanning, you keep scanning, and any sensation, if it comes up, whether it's painful, if it's gross, or if it's subtle, you acknowledge it with what's called equanimity, but you don't attach to it, you don't avoid it, and then you move on to the next part of your body, just again observing. And one of the things I keep saying to myself is just observe, just observe. And through that kind of process of going through your body and observing these sensations, you become really acutely aware of your mind and how many things it starts throwing up to distract you. And it becomes really, really apparent to you of how in control of this process you can be once you become aware. And once you step back from being swallowed up by your thoughts, and kind of going down that path that it's giving you and feeding it, giving it more energy, that then suddenly you're out of control and you've totally lost track of what you're doing. If you just keep bringing yourself back to, what am I here to do? I'm here to observe. That's all I'm here to do, is observe, observe, observe. Just keep observing, just keep observing. Just allow things to come up, just observe them. Don't buy into them, don't attach to them. And I found the other day I was doing a meditation, it was really fascinating while I was doing the meditation, because during the meditation I really was able to start observing everything with sort of distance at an arm's length. But then I found I was getting so many kind of epiphanies and kind of interesting thoughts that kept coming up, that I was like, oh wow, this would be a great thing to do a post on or a video or to talk about. And the moment that came up, I'd start clinging to it and going down that path, and it would start taking away my focus and distracting me. And became even more apparent that, wow, I've even got to kind of distance myself and just observe those thoughts coming up. As beneficial as they were distracting me from what I was there to do. And in that moment in time, during that meditation, it's to have space, it's to give your mind space just to observe bodily sensations. And it's using that technique to observe the physical reality of what's going on in your body at that very moment in time, using sensory perceptions, it becomes much easier at being able to disassociate yourself from your thoughts, and not attaching to them. And I became, and all these kind of scenarios kept coming in my head during the meditation. It was kind of making me laugh, because I became so super aware of what I was sort of, what was kind of going on inside of me. Yeah, so it's been one of the biggest lessons I've learned recently, and it's something that's I found an hour meditation initially to be it's quite hard. Like you get to half an hour and you're like, okay, cool, half an hour, and then from half an hour to 45 minutes, you start getting a bit more uncomfortable. Your mind starts going, oh, this is getting a bit boring, or I want to move, maybe I should stretch and stuff. And then the last 15 minutes is really, was really quite a struggle, until I really just kept saying to myself, just observe, just observe. And I realised that just all that I'm in pain, I'm in discomfort, I'm bored, all of these things are all being generated here. And this is what Vipassana teaches you, is this, like, we are self-generating our own misery. It doesn't actually exist. It's only our perception that actually creates a lot of this misery that we create in our own worlds. And it's become such it's such a powerful lesson to realize that. And it's made now my hour meditation this beautiful space of peace, where I will work really hard throughout that hour to maintain that equanimity, that space in my mind, to not get distracted into thoughts. No matter how attractive they are, no matter how productive they could be with my work and business, or for putting posts up and information, it's been such a big benefit for me, even already. And I would say that to you guys now, with everything that we're going through at the moment, that it's very easy to get caught up in the fear, right? The fear of the virus getting you, the fear of you getting ill, the government telling you how many cases there's been, and on the news all the time how many people have died, and all this social distancing. Our world's changing, we've got to queue up for shops, we've got to stand 2 meters apart in shops, we can't socialise with our friends and family anymore through fear of giving them something or getting something from them, all this fear created by the government. Think all the conspiracy theories online about it being, whether it wasn't a man-made virus or not, whether it's 5G that's making it worse or led to it, whether it was Bill Gates and all the vaccination conspiracies and stuff like that. And then you've got another group of people who are talking about the transcendence of the human soul and the human experience, and this being this kind of big spiritual change that's going on, and that Mother Nature wants us to stop, and she's kind of forcing us to look at our lives and change. So we've got so much information coming at us right now. And this process for me, this being able to just observe, has enabled me to step back from all of that and not get caught up in either one totally. Like I have the ability to be able to, at the moment, stand and observe the information that's coming at me from these different places, and to observe them, take the bits that I think are relevant from each one, because there's a bit of truth in all of them, I believe, but without getting swallowed up totally by the fear from one, the conspiracy of another, or this transcendent ultimate goal that we're going through as a species, and I'm able to stand back. And just from this meditation practice and using Vipassana, it's really helped me to be able to do that, to use the same method that I do during the meditation, to observe my own internal physical sensations. I'm able to now, at the moment, just observe what's going on in the world around me, and it's been really, really beneficial. There's a couple of things I've also been reading recently that really resonated with me, that really I read today actually, that really were relevant in terms of what I was going to talk to you guys about today. And the first one is from a book I'm reading on a daily basis called The Daily Stoic. Basically, it's a different meditation on every day, for every day of the year, on wisdom, perseverance, and the art of living, basically by Ryan Holiday. But it's kind of compilation of all the kind of philosophical thoughts from a lot of the famous philosophers of our time, ancient philosophers. So March the 31st, this is today's. You're a product of your training. Chasing what can't be done is madness, but the base person is unable to do anything else. That's by Marcus Aurelius. And Ryan Holiday goes on to explain this. A dog that's allowed to chase cars will chase cars. A child who is never given any boundaries will become spoiled. An investor without discipline is not an investor, he's a gambler. A mind that isn't in control of itself, that doesn't understand its power to regulate itself, will be jerked around by external events and unquestioned impulses. That's what's going on right now. You're probably finding that your mind and your attention and your energy is being jerked around by all these different news sources, these things on social media. I mean, even before this, right, we're being jerked around by social media with all the distractions and stuff, and all this overflow of information that we've got coming at us, because we're not learning to regulate our minds and control them. They're so powerful, and when they're out of control, they're very destructive. Next paragraph. That can't be how you'd like tomorrow to go, so you must be aware of that. You must put in place training and habits now to replace ignorance and ill discipline. Only then will you begin to behave and act differently. Only then will you stop seeking the impossible, the short-sighted, and the unnecessary. So I think that passage is amazing and super important for what we're going through right now. Now is the time. You've got lots of time on your hands if you're not at work and you're at home, to take time to meditate, to go into your inner world and to learn more about yourself, and to start practicing these methods to help you with controlling your mind, improving your mindset, and nurturing your world through your thoughts and through what you're reading and what you're hearing. Another one of my favourite books is called The Book of Dharma. Obviously, Dharma is the philosophy behind Vipassana meditation that I've just done. This is a book I've actually had for a few years, and it's a book. It was one of my favourite books that I go back to and read all the time. Sometimes just flipping open to a relevant or non-relevant page and getting some form of wisdom. And this is what I read today on the topic of purity, which is one of the bases of Dharma. And this is actually one of my favourite passages and tales that I seem to pick up on a regular basis from different things I've been on. So this is it. Whatever we feed grows. One evening, a wise village elder told his grandson about a fierce battle that occurs within our world. The battle is between two wolves within each of us, he said. These wolves are fighting for supremacy over our world. One wolf is evil. It is anger, hate, fear, shame, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, greed, contempt, resentment, and inferiority. The other wolf is good. It is love, gratitude, harmony, truthfulness, beauty, humility, kindness, hope, compassion, courage, and generosity. The little boy thought about it for a minute and then asked his grandfather, "Which wolf wins?" The old man replied simply, "The one you feed." So, I'm sure you've all heard the phrase, where your attention goes, your energy flows. And this is what this is essentially saying, is this, like, you've got a choice, and you can make a choice about what you choose to feed inside your mind, and how you want to kind of live your life, and the thoughts you want to take on board. And if you choose to focus on the negative aspects of everything going on, then that will be what you attract into your life. If you choose to focus on more positive energy and the more positive things that are going on, that will be what's going on in our lives. And we really are the creators. We really are the creators of our own lives, but it all starts from our thoughts in our mind here. And this is why it's really important that right now you take time to go inside your own inner world. Whilst exploring the physical world is really important to us, and everyone's obsessively doing lots of exercise at the moment because of being held indoors, this is actually a really good opportunity to not get distracted by the physical reality and to start working on the mind, because this is where everything stems from. This is where our happiness is generated. This is where our contentment and our gratitude for the world is kind of generated. And the more purity we have in our mind, the more balance we have in our mind, the happier lives we're going to lead, no matter what's going on in the physical world around us. So that's my message for you guys today. Nurture your world. Start with your mindset. Start looking into meditation if you're not doing it already. Maybe not an hour a day, maybe that's a bit too much for you to begin with. Start with 5 minutes and then build up. Habit stacking, remember I've been talking about that quite a lot recently. So yeah, and if you do some meditation, give it a go. Try focusing on those sensations. Scan through your body. Focus on the sensations that are going through your body, but try not to attach yourself to them. Just observe what's going on. Just observe what's going on in your body. It makes you super present. And even when you're out walking, just observe what's going on in the world around you without attaching to it, without craving it, without avoiding it. Be aware, be present. Bring yourself back into this present moment, because there's no fear in it. Okay, everyone. That's me for now. Adam Stansbury, the Plant Power PT. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode. The next video is going to be about lifestyle, so we're going to talk a little about sleep, like I said, relationships, the environment, socialising, etc, etc. But that's it for me now. Have an amazing week. Much love to you all. Stay safe, stay fear-free, and stay happy.